Hello everyone, welcome to this exciting video. Ketu in the 5th house. Just want to take a moment and say thank you to everyone who's joined the channel so far and who's joined this wonderful family we're creating. If you're here for the first time, welcome, and I hope you learned something new today. And I always say astrology is not about predicting small events. It's more so to discover who you are at the soul level. And I like looking at your chart and seeing what it takes to make you smile at a very deep soul level. And today we'll be talking about Ketu in the 5th house. This is a very, very interesting placement. It's challenging and wonderful at the same time. So I know a lot of you have been waiting very patiently, and it's very exciting day that we finally get to make this video today. So before diving too deep, I know I don't talk about Rahu too much in my videos, but this is a placement where I want to bring Rahu a little bit because both the axes are very interesting. You got Ketu in the 5th and Rahu in the 11th. So if you're born with Ketu in the 5th, you know you have Rahu in the 11th, and 11th house is a very social house. When you're outside, when you're at your workplace, in parties, family weekend, gathering, anywhere, once you step outside your house, you're a social butterfly. People love you. People want to talk to you. People want to be around you. And before your Ketu Mahadasha came, especially in Mercury, you were very social, probably at your workplace or parties, anywhere. And what happens is when you come home, you feel alone. Those friends, they're very temporary. They only exist in parties. They are there temporarily at workplace. They think you're your friends. You're spending so many hours talking to them. But when you really need somebody, nobody's there. Ketu in the 5th creates this hollowness inside that you have to fulfill yourself. And I'll get into this video today about 5th house, what it represents, and what happens in Ketu Mahadasha here. But I just wanted to mention that people with Ketu in the 5th and 11th, they need a lot of love inside. They might be very popular in parties, but they're the most empty people inside in their hearts. A person could be smiling and laughing in a party, and yet they come home, they feel lonely, and they'll be crying all night after the party. So this is that dynamic, like where you need to do a lot of self-love. So if you're balanced, you will not be crying. You cry because you're hollow on the inside. And this is one of the placements where, because you're crying at home, you're so empty inside, people become addicted to drugs to escape from that pain. Alcohol, drugs, hard drugs. And I'll explain why. But a lot of the people who are very talented and they're up there, you'll see, especially like actors and stuff, it's their talent. And a lot of times they end up doing drugs. So they're out there perfect for the world, yet there's a lot of problems with them on the inner side. And these acting skills and stuff, they're not only from this life, they're from the past life, which ties into the 5th house. So what is 5th house, and what happens when Ketu is there? So 5th house, as everybody knows, represents your children, your intelligence, your creativity, like singing, dancing, paint, like all the creative expressions. It's also the house where we see your past life karmas. In Hindi, it's called Purv Punya. It's the house of romance, like how your dating life is going to be, what kind of partner you're going to attract. Are you going to have a love marriage or arranged marriage? 5th house is also the house of your spiritual practices, like mantra is seen from 5th house. It shows your good karmas of the past life, like I just mentioned, and also it's the house of creation. A lot of times we see the 5th house to see if somebody's gonna be going into entrepreneur line and the business line, or they're gonna be self-employed, or they're gonna have a job 9 to 6. So there's a lot to say on the 5th house, and I don't want to make the video too long. And we'll try to do part 1, part 2 in the future. After I'm done all the houses and stuff, maybe we'll come back into it. But today I'll go a little bit deeper into the 5th house. So the first thing is 5th house for children. When Ketu is activated and you have children, it might create a detachment from your children. You might be overly attached to your kids, thinking you want the perfect life, you want them to achieve this and this and this. But what happens is Ketu says, no. They have their own path, they have their own karma. You have to detach, let them grow up, be there to support them, but let them walk their own path. A lot of times what happens with Ketu in the 5th, a lot of people are not able to conceive. People have trouble having kids. And there's a very strange mystery around this, and a lot of people have not spoken about it on YouTube because they don't understand it. Can somebody with Ketu in the 5th have kids? Yes. Does it give problems to some? Yes. And let me explain. Now, let's talk about Rahu in the 5th, for example. As soon as somebody sees Rahu in the 5th in today's modern context, they'll say, oh, they might have problem conceiving kids, but if they do IVF, if they go through the labs and try to conceive, they will be able to have kids, because Rahu is modern innovation, right? So you have to take a different, if you're having problem conceiving with the Rahu in the 5th, a lot of people have kids if they go through the IVF lab methods. But now, what about Ketu? Nobody has understood the power of Ketu in the 5th, right? Ketu is a divine. Nobody has told us why people have miscarriages or they have a hard time conceiving. Some do, some don't. If Rahu is modern, Rahu is labs, IVF, Ketu is spiritual. You need the divine's blessing in order to have a child, especially your first child. What Ketu here teaches us, did you ask permission from the divine to bring a new soul into the world? Did you follow your family rituals or traditions, or go to the temples and seek blessings from the divine in any form or way, even at home? Did you do prayers or ask guidance? Hey, let us bring a new soul into the world. If Ketu surrender, right? People go to temples a lot, they surrender for the divine and stuff. But what the divine is teaching here is they'll be blessed with a child, but they need to be ready. They need to get permission from the universe to be able to bring that life in. So nobody has talked about this. We have forgotten our roots. If Ketu's roots, seeking spiritual guidance should be a common practice. We bless our food for dinner, right? A lot of people have the practice, and including myself, where before having dinner or lunch or anything, we do a little prayer, right? Thank you for the food provided, and we're grateful. Well, creating a new life, it's not just a simple, pleasureful act. There's a lot more depth involved. A lot of people are able to get pregnant, but there's a miscarriage, right at the time when the soul is going to enter their body, because they don't have the permission from the universe to be able to become parents yet. So people think, oh, Ketu in the 5th, they'll never have kids. No. There's a way to overcome that. If Rahu says IVF, Ketu says spirituality. Seek divine blessings. Your past life talents, Ketu awakens them. If you've been studying in engineering and you have Ketu in the 5th and Ketu Mahadasha comes, and then you realize your true talents are in woodworking. You want to make canoes. You want to do something totally different than what you studied. This is a time when people have a career switch. A lot of people who might be an engineer, all of a sudden they want to take up singing now, and they gain a lot of fame, right? So they discover their true talents that are not only from this lifetime, they come along with them from the past life. But what happens, you have to stay grounded and balanced. If you become a musician or a great singer, Rahu gives you that crowd, but you have to be spiritually fulfilled. But if you're not balanced or grounded, that 11th house effect of Rahu can lead you towards addiction, drugs, and a lot of other problems, right? So 5th house is very interesting. It's not, now, that's your true talents being awakened, but also at the same time, relationships. If you have Ketu in the 5th, you have multiple relationships come and go, people that don't stick around, and you think there's something wrong with you, why you can't hold up a relationship. Well, these people are coming to finish their karma. And what the divine is teaching you, that true love isn't discovered through small relationships. It's more so about loving yourself and feeling fulfilled on the inside. And I'll talk about why these people come and go. They're here to settle their debts from past lifetimes, but I'll explain why that happens in a little bit more advance. And 5th house also leads you more towards spiritual practices. And I'll say why it's a gift in a second. So, basics. Detachment from kids, or if you're having struggle with kids, I've just talked about why it's important. And your intelligence. People love researching when you have Ketu in the 5th. They want to gain higher knowledge. And if we talk about a little bit advanced astrology, like I always talk about, I'll start with the 12th house, right? The house of the soul, the house of creation. If we count the 5th house from the 12th house, it's 6 away. So the 12th house, 1st house, 2nd house, 3rd house, 4th house, 5th, and 6th. So for your soul, the 5th house becomes 6 away. And a lot of the time when we talk about 6th house, people are scared. It's about the debt, the enemy, your health and stuff. So when we talk about your partners, these little romantic relationships, the flings that you have, or short-term dating, not marriage, but short-term dating and stuff, these people that come and go, they're your karmic partners that are here to settle some kind of a karmic debt. It could be as simple as a single date, and it could be money owed or some kind of energy that got balanced through a meal that was $100 or whatever, through one meal. You could have, that relationship might last for 6 months until that karma is finished. So these are karmic partners that are here to settle their debts. The people with Ketu in the 5th, when it's activated, they, like if 6 away from the 12th, we talk about what kind of illness or health issues they might have. Well, they have a hard time focusing on meditation, right? So these are the health blocks during Ketu meditation, like mental restlessness. They can't sit still, especially during meditation. Their mind doesn't silence, right? So their soul is constantly overactive. So that's why journaling or some other practices like yoga might be very helpful for them. And if we talk about how do these people transform, how do they change? How is Ketu going to transform them in their Ketu Mahadasha is 8th away. And that also is the 12th house. So that's why I said 5th house is very, very interesting in many different ways. So if we count from the 12th, 6 away is 5th. But from the 5th, if we talk about transformation and change, Ketu will take you to the 12th house. 12th house is the house of loss, isolation, dissolving your ego, surrendering, isolation. Like if you're single, depending on your age, you might feel very isolated. If you have kids and family, you might feel totally detached. But remember, if you're in Ketu Mahadasha and you're trying to achieve enlightenment or moksha, you don't achieve it by doing something. You have to surrender to the divine. So you don't chase or achieve, you surrender. And it'll come to you. And that's the magic of the 12th house. And also, a lot of the times, if you've been dating someone for long and Ketu Mahadasha came around, your long-term dating relationship, not marriage, might dissolve. If your marriage is also dissolving, that could be a different factor on depending on the chart. But a lot of the time, long-term relationship, short-term, they dissolve because Ketu is teaching you that love is not by being with a partner or by being with another person. Love is within. What you seek outside is actually inside. So don't be scared if Ketu is giving you isolation. If you have Ketu in the 5th house, it's your chance to transform now. That isolation is a time and space given for you to grow yourself. And one of the beauty of the 12th house. So now if Ketu is going to transform you through the 12th house is a house of mystical experiences, psychic downloads. So you could be going on a walk and all of a sudden your mind is free, and then you have these beautiful, beautiful moments when you're connected to the divine and you're almost speaking to the divine, or you're getting these divine downloads in your mind. And that's the beauty of isolation. At least free your mind and see what kind of downloads or what kind of information you're getting at that time in total surrender. Don't be scared if your mind is feeling alone. Now, what do you have to let go? You don't have to let go of kids, but Ketu creates a detachment because they want to understand that your kids have their own journey, right? But what do you have to let go? In order to understand what you have to let go, we have to count the 12th house from Ketu. So when we're counting 12th away from the 5th house, it's the 4th house, the house of loss or dissolving. What are we dissolving in the 4th house? We've talked about it before. What is the 4th house? 4th house is your emotional comforts, your ego, your mother, your emotional comforts, right? So your Ketu says, let go of your old beliefs, let go of your old emotions, let go of your old patterns. Come out as someone new. You might be faced to release your old emotional traumas from your childhood, or even your family experiences. Some of you might even have to leave your family. Not your immediate, but some relatives, some cousins and stuff, because you're no longer emotionally tied to the family. That karma is getting cleansed. And you'll be faced with times when you have to release emotional ties that no longer serve your soul purpose or your soul growth. And that happens by letting go of relations right here. Soul growth doesn't happen with your eyes closed and sitting in meditation. No. Any experiences that you have, some friends coming, family coming, going, that's a soul journey. This is life. Life isn't complicated, right? So Ketu, from the fact of the 12th house, now your emotional comforts, letting all that go, is so you can learn that emotional security is within. It's not in romantic relationships. It's not attached to children or family. True emotional security comes from within. Now, what are the gains? So I can sit here and do house by house, the 2nd house, 3rd house from Ketu, the 4th house from Ketu, the 5th house. The video is going to be super long. That's why I said it's very interesting in the 5th house, but we'll do it maybe later in the future. But for today, on a positive note, what are the gains, right? Gains are looked as 2nd house from any house. So the gains of the 5th house, when Ketu is in the 5th, so what are the gains would be the 6th house. Now, your daily routine, your daily tasks, those are divine gifts. If you have a job, a career, right? 6th house is look for jobs. So the 2nd house, your daily routine, you're contributing something to the large spiritually. Your job isn't just a job. You're fulfilling a divine purpose. And 6th house, your creative outlets, your gifts are seen from the 5th. And your gifts, you're creating something beautiful, right? Like you might have a job, but also on the side, you like painting. You like creating music from your home. You like writing blogs and journaling. It helps you. So those are gifts that Ketu has given you. And I would highly, strongly recommend, if you haven't already started doing, if you have Ketu in the 5th, in routine, either yoga, meditation, or gym, it will be very, very helpful for you on your soul journey. And Ketu in the fifth, as a closing note, I want to say it's not as scary, but it's a beautiful if you're spiritually fulfilled on the inside. Because Rahu being a social butterfly and the 11th can really make you feel hollow on the inside. How many people are truly your best friends connected from the soul? Are you empty? Have you cried at home after parties, or are you feeling alone? Or are you spiritually fulfilled and you have this divine connection that you don't need external validation to feel content? Again, as a closing note, no, it's not impossible to have children. There's just blockages or what's stopping you, depending on your chart, from conceiving with Ketu in the fifth. It is possible. Don't be scared. There's so much false information out there on YouTube from different people that we're even scared to talk about it. So it's how connected are you with the divine? I want to take this moment to thank everybody for watching, for staying this long. I hope you have learned something new. Enjoy life. Don't take life so seriously. Everything will unfold at the right time. If Ketu is in the fifth of your creative expressions, dance a little, smile, have fun, paint. Do the things that you enjoy doing. Don't be scared. Everything will come at the right time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And my email is always in the description box below. If you want to talk about something, if you want to discover your chart at a greater depth, please feel free to email me. I'll be happy to help you and assist you. Happy healing. Stay smiling. Dance a little today. Thank you everyone for watching. Have a wonderful night.